Hopefully she doesn't see this new ride I just bought. Hopefully you guys don't get too mad at me either for buying another one of these. I told you guys not to. But let's take a look at it. Let's get started.
David.
Oh!
David, get back up here. What did you do?
I bought something.
You did. I knew he was buying something, guys, but I haven't even seen it yet. I mean, I pulled in the driveway last night. It was dark, and it's like, oh, this isn't QB.
No, but our daughter says the face of this car looks like the face of our Persian cat, Honey.
I do like Honey, and Honey did make an appearance in one of our videos a long time ago, but this definitely isn't the size of Honey or of QB. And yeah, you did say not to buy one of these.
Yeah, this is Daddy QB.
Daddy QB. I do like the color.
Do you like the color?
Yes, I do. This is one of my favorite colors. I do like blue. So why don't we take a look at it, guys? I haven't even inside, under, none of it. I haven't seen it other than what you guys have seen.
Let's take a look. So yes, I've gone and done the unthinkable. I told you guys never, ever buy an Armada or a QX56 or really any Nissan product. I already have a Nissan product, the Cube, I call QB, and I went and bought another one, an Infiniti QX56. This one is a 2008 with about 173,000 miles, and I actually got it at a little dealership in Wichita called Farha Used Cars, and the salesman that sold me this was Jesse Cole. You guys check them out. They're on West Maple. I'll have a link in the description below if you want to check out their inventory. Really good dealership to deal with. But I bought this for a reason. I wanted to show you guys that this thing is a beautiful looking vehicle. I really love the styling. This is one of the stylings that it's either love or hate. There are people that say this is disgusting. It looks like vomit on the floor. And then there's other people like me that say, I love it. It's very artsy. It's very classy. It's very beautiful. I like it. But I wanted you to see that when you purchase something like this, it looks really nice, but Nissan products are known to have this wrong, and this wrong, and that wrong, and that wrong, and that wrong, and this, and it just keeps going and going. I want to show you guys that. But when I purchased this, the salesman, Jesse, went over all the things that are wrong with this. That's one thing I really enjoyed. He didn't hide it. He just said, this is wrong, and that don't work, and this is needing help. I bought it because he was very honest, and I really appreciated that. Let's take a look around this vehicle. We'll look under the hood, then we'll raise it up, then we'll look at the interior. So let's start right here. Isn't it cute, Mrs. Wizard?
It is growing on me.
It looks very classy. It's got some little paint chips here in the paint. You can see over the years it's got little dots in it. As you go along to the side, it's very short and girthy. You can see that it has a short snout. I noticed some of the plastic here needs some help. It needs some new screws in it or something. But it has some decent Goodyear tires on it. On the side step, that the little rubber is curling right there, but it's not that big of a deal. As you go along, there's the tires again, good tires. It's not dented and beat up really that bad. It's a little dirty in the back. I actually drove it today. There is a dent here. I don't know if that's a hail dent or if someone took a hammer to it, or I'm not sure what happened there. Hopefully it wasn't the previous owner's landlord when they hadn't paid their bill or something. This side, the side step also has some little bit of curling going on in the rubber. Not too bad of a deal. There's another little dent right here, and I also noticed that this cowl is not an exact match in color if you check it there between the hood and the cowl. So I think that's been repainted. Actually, I know it has been. Maybe it got cracked or broken, or who knows. But otherwise, it's in pretty decent shape. I'll go ahead and open the hood and we'll take a look under there. Hey, this one holds itself up, Mrs. Wizard.
Oh, good. You don't have to replace that.
One thing I have replaced already is the Serpentine Belt. It was making a squeaking noise, and that solved that. But this is the Nissan 5.6 liter V8. It has 320 horsepower and almost 400 pound-feet of torque, like 398 or something, some weird number like that. But it's got very good power, not so good gas mileage. But you don't buy something like this for gas mileage. You buy it for comfort and towing ability. And that's what we did. We bought it for that. I guess I did anyway. I've gone through and checked all the fluids. Everything looks good. It does have some issues in the interior, and we'll see on the suspension in the rear. We'll talk about some things we see there. But otherwise, it runs and drives fine. Really, really impressed with the way it rides. So as you can see, 173,000 miles. You can also see a flashing airbag light. And you can see on the service engine soon light that's flashing over there on the left, someone in the past has tried to cover it with a magic marker. That wasn't the dealer that did that, it was someone else. But otherwise, there's some staining here on the fabric that I can scrub out with some tough stuff, I guess that's what you call it. That's what I use. There's also some on the pillar over there. I don't know if someone spilled their coffee or what happened, but it needs a cleaning, but it's not torn up. That's the thing. I can clean stuff. I just don't like repairing stripped and shredded interiors. I don't like that. It's got the nice DVD player in there, so you can play videos for your kids, although my kids are too old for that type of stuff. It's got climate control, dual zone. It also has rear heat and AC. It's got heated steering wheel, heated seats. You'll like the heated steering wheel, Mrs. Wizard.
I already do. I have one in my Discovery Sport.
Yep. It's got a nice Bose sound system that sounds really good. It also has a hard drive, like a 9 or 10 gigabyte hard drive that's built into this. You can click Music Box and go to it. You can upload songs to it. The dash is in good shape. It's not all cracked or beat up. And it has the most comfortable leather seats I've ever sat in. They're so plush and comfortable, but yet supportive at the same time. They're really nice. Nissan makes good seats. QB has good seats. I like the seats in QB. So here's our DVD screen we can watch movies on. And you can control it from back here. Here's the rear seat, heater and AC. And also down here, it has heated seats for the rear seats, a cup holder, and a center console here as well with all the headphones for the DVD player. Those are usually gone. I was happy that they actually were included with this thing. It does have third row seating, but it's all down now. I've got it loaded with some things that I picked up earlier today. But it has tons of room and it rides so nice. The headliner is nice. It's not all scratched or beat up. So yeah, the interior is pretty decent. Let's go ahead and get this thing lifted up. This is a heavy vehicle, almost 6,000 pounds. I can tell when I'm lifting it. One of the things the dealer told me about that they fixed was that this oil filter adapter, it's actually an oil cooler, was leaking behind there. That's a common Nissan issue. The 3.5 V6s have the same thing. The 4-cylinders have the same thing. And you can see all this oil sludge here. It looks like whoever they had replace that didn't clean the area. I guess I don't blame them too much. I don't clean a whole lot either, unless I'm paid to do so. No leaks from the radiator. We can see it right here. Let's check the wheels out. These brakes got about 20% remaining, so I'll need to put some pads on it. These wheels don't look good on the inside. The chrome, so many of these chrome wheels do this when they get age on them. But I'm not going to mess with it. I'm just going to use it for a daily driver. The outsides of the wheels look fine. The strut's nice and dry. One thing I do notice, there's clunking when I go over bumps, and it's the sway bar bushings. You can see that it's oblonged or ovaled out right here. You can also see that I can actually feel it clunking right there. So I'm going to need sway bar bushings to take care of the clunk. This oily mess here was from the previous oil filter adapter seal that was repaired. Let's check out this wheel here. Same story on the brakes. Nothing loose. CV shaft is dry. No wet strut, luckily. And let's move back to the transmission area. I told you guys on the Armadas, the Titans, and also the QX56, they have problems with the catalytic converters. I don't know if these have been replaced or not, but there's no check engine light on for that. There's no issues with them at the current time. They probably won't be with as many miles that are on it. When they go bad, you have to replace the entire exhaust manifold on both sides. You can't just replace just the cat. So it's kind of a bummer. The transmission's nice and dry. These U-joints are good. There's some oil seepage here it was coming from the oil filter adapter up there. It was just blowing all the way back here. I can look at some of these exhaust clamps here and I can tell that it's probably been in the northeast or up north where it's salty. The frame and the body luckily is not rusted out. I've checked it out already, but some of the exhaust components, they're not broken, but you could tell that they've got corroded pretty bad. This U-joint is good. That's a beefy drive shaft. And we move to the back. You can see also some more corrosion on the bolt there on the exhaust. It's still holding, and I'll just leave it alone. Check the brakes back here. Those pads have been replaced already. Nothing loose. Sway bar link is good. CV shaft is good. Go over to here. Brake pads are new. Sway bar link is good. The bushings are good. Nothing loose there. Here's our spare tire. And now we make it to the back of the vehicle, and you can see there's an air suspension compressor here, but it's been disabled, which is a common thing when the rear air leveling suspension fails. And I can tell somebody has already just bypassed it and went to standard coils and shocks. You can see that the coils are brand new, and also the shock absorbers are just standard shock absorbers where normally they would have been kind of like air shocks. So that's been disabled, which I'm totally fine with because those systems are problematic, especially with age. And I really don't need that kind of trouble. So it works fine as it is and it rides really good. I'll probably leave it alone.
Okay, Wizard. So why did we buy this again?
For towing.
Towing.
We have 2 or 3 trailers that we can tow with, and we can also tow cars and haul things. It has a really nice tow package. These things tow very heavy, where a Chevy truck or Ford truck tow 6,000–7,000 pounds. This one can tow almost 9,000 pounds. It's got a really, really strong towing package on it. It can tow pretty heavy for an SUV. I really like that about these. So let's get this thing on the ground and let's talk about everything I found wrong with it. So now let's talk about the things that I found wrong with it. And pretty much they're all things that the dealer told me about when I bought it, or the salesman. The airbag light is on. I connected my scan tool and found out that there was no circuit, or it can't detect a circuit at all to the driver's airbag. And I researched that on Identifix, and what's wrong with that is the clock spring. So we'll have to replace the clock spring. The next thing is the cruise control intermittently will work. Sometimes it doesn't work. And again, I trace that to be the clock spring. So many of you wonder, what is a clock spring? It's also called a spiral cable. What it is, it sits right behind your steering wheel. Here's a picture of one right here. And it allows 3, 4, 5, or 6 wires to run in a flat ribbon cable, kind of in a spiral shape. So that way you can turn your wheel and still send electrical signals through to the computer without breaking wires and things. That's basically what all it does, is transmit electrical signals through a rotating part. Those are known to fail on these, and it has failed on this one. Another problem with these is the fuel gauge. Sometimes it doesn't work, sometimes it does. it's kind of flaky, and it ends up being the fuel sender, which is commonly what's wrong with it. And very likely that's what the case is here. I'm going to have to dig a little deeper to see if it's in the cluster or if it's in the sender, but I'm thinking it's probably in the sender. The check engine light is on because of the fuel gauge issue. It says there's a circuit high with the fuel gauge circuit, and so once I get that taken care of, the check engine light will go off. That's the only code that it had, luckily. Other than that, it runs, it drives, it rides great. But there's a key thing to think about here is that with all the things I just listed wrong with it, you could easily get $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 in repairs into it. So if you just bought this for $5,000, $6,000, whatever you paid for it, you're going to have to add 2 or 3 on top of that to get everything fixed. These are known to have little things, like I just mentioned, go wrong constantly. And I'm trying to buy this and show you guys that you could easily take this thing home. A few things aren't working. You take it to the mechanic and it's like, oh my goodness, I didn't plan on spending this kind of money to fix everything on here. Now luckily I can get all the parts and put them on myself, and I can do all this for probably $500, $600 and have everything fully fixed on this car. But in the previous video where I did buy this, not that, and I told you guys not to buy these, I still stand by that because most of us don't own our own shop. We don't have access to wholesale prices on parts. And most of us have to have a mechanic do the work, which means there's going to be labor involved. If there were a Toyota, there might be 1 or 2 items, and this would be perfectly fine. Being that it's an Infiniti or a Nissan product, as you can see, this is wrong, that is wrong, this is wrong, that's wrong. Luckily, they were upfront with me when I bought this, and I knew that, and I got a pretty good deal on it. I actually traded in my motorcycle for this vehicle. You guys have seen the 2006 Yamaha Stratoliner that I had. It was silver. Towards last fall, towards the end of the riding season, I was just getting where I didn't ride it that much because my lower back's giving me trouble, my knees give me trouble. And it just wasn't that fun to ride anymore, especially in Kansas when it's always windy, 40 miles an hour, which if you're in the city, it's not that big of a deal, but 90% of my riding is on the open country highway. I just got tired of it, I guess. I figured I could flip that and turn it into this, fix everything, and have nice heated seats, heated steering wheel, and a very soft ride, which it has.
Okay, David, I guess you did a good job.
Yeah, being that we can fix everything. This wouldn't be a good job if we had to go pay the local mechanic to fix everything.
Probably not, but that's not why we buy any of the cars we have. We've bought all the cars we told you not to buy after all.
And I've named this thing already.
Oh, have you?
Its name is Shamu.
Shamu. It is a bit of a whale, and it kind of has a nice kind of whale-ish kind of blue color.
It's big and bulbous like a whale.
That it is.
And wide.
It's yeah, I don't think we can. I think we can keep our distance from each other. Yeah. No.
So it'll be a great ride for me. I really enjoy big, luxurious vehicles, Range Rovers especially, but this was such a good deal, and I could fix what's wrong with it, and I can enjoy this thing. So if you're curious what kind of tools we're going to use to work on this vehicle, check my Amazon affiliates link in the description below. I got all my tools in the shop listed for sale there, and we get a small cut, and I appreciate it. If you haven't...
And we're doing a yacht video next, right?
We're doing one soon. We've got some updates and things I need to do on it. We're getting behind on the yacht videos, but we need to do one.
I've got my part done. Someone else does it.
Yep, I've been busy doing all this other stuff. But we will have a yacht video coming soon, and if you haven't hit the subscribe button already, I really recommend you do that now. We've got many cool projects. We've got some progress on the 38 Oldsmobile and also on the Malibu. We'll do some videos on those soon as well. So again, thanks for watching.